Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with another certified bussin' hood classic on God. Today I want to share with you guys 5 of the most underrated sneaker releases from 2023 so far. I happen to think that these sneakers are underrated, but you may well just think they are shit. To me, an underrated sneaker is a sneaker that is pretty cheap, not a lot of hype around it, and it's the type of sneaker that when you wear them or when you post pictures of them, people say things like,
"Wow, those are cool, where'd you get those from? What are they?"
And I feel like these models fit those criterion quite nicely, so let's get into it. First up today we have these. These are the Adidas Bad Bunny collab on the campus. These sat for the longest time. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if you could still find these sitting in some retailers. Retail price was £140, around $160, and you can probably find these on the resale market used for well under retail. And so they check the box for price. In terms of the hype, there really isn't that much hype around Bad Bunny. I feel like he had a little bit of hype around his shoes towards the end of last year on the forums, and I thought that success was going to carry over onto this model, the campus, but it hasn't really popped off like that. The thing I like about this shoe is it's a really wearable colorway. I really enjoy wearing these. In fact, I rocked these yesterday and found them to be really comfortable. If you are thinking about copying these, I would recommend going a half size up. They feature some really nice quality materials, the suedes and the leather. Even though it's a light colored shoe, they've got this really durable outsole, and they've got this rubber unit that sort of wraps around the bottom of the shoe, which I think is going to be good for splashback and dirt and stuff like that. There's a whole bunch of different colorways out there, including a mossy green pair, which I also have. And to be perfectly honest, this is low-key one of my favorite pickups of the entire year, the Bad Bunny Campus. Underrated. Next up, I have a pair of Sauconys. In fact, some Grid Shadow 2s. This particular colorway is called the Creek Marsh, and you might be thinking, is that a collab? Because it looks like it could be a collab. It's not. This is just a regular GR inline Saucony Grid Shadow 2. Quality and variety of materials, as well as the exciting color blocking, does scream collab, but nah, they're just like a normal Saucony. Now I feel like this model could be in line to pop off momentarily, because Saucony have found themselves in the sneaker spotlight in recent times thanks to J-Tips and his successful collab on the Grid Azura 2000. He's also set to release another collab with Saucony very soon on this model here, and I just think it's a really nicely proportioned runner. They have really good materials. It's a good looking shoe on foot, very comfortable. They fit true to size, and at a price point of similar to the Bad Bunnies, around £140, it's good value for money and good bang for your buck. And so let me put you on. The Saucony Grid Shadow 2 is a up and coming model, but for the moment could be considered underrated. Next up in my underrated pickups list, I have a couple of Jordan 1 lows. First and foremost, these, the Atmosphere Grays. I just think this is such a clean colorway, and with the aged vintage touches, these are really nice. They've got a really nice quality tumbled leather on the upper and the whites, and they've got a nice cracked gray leather. The classic vintage, aged, and stained midsole definitely adds to the aesthetic. And I know the high top counterparts of the Atmosphere Grays, I think they're called the Stealth Grays, didn't do so well, but I actually think this color blocking lends itself really well to the low OG 1. Don't try to convince me that if that check, if that swoosh wasn't on back the front, these would not be selling for crazy money. I think the wearability, I think the nice quality in the materials in the upper, as well as the aged vibes on them, make these a really cool shoe, and they actually have a really nice squishy insole, making them comfortable to wear off the rip. And because the retail price on the 1 lows is a little bit more reasonable, especially compared to the 1 highs at around about £130, £140 or $160 odd, these are, in my opinion, preferable to the 1 highs these days. And given that these are reselling for retail price, under retail, in fact these are still sat on the Nike sneakers app here in the UK, available in a lot of different retailers, these are easy to cop. Another 1 low that has been going for retail or just over / just under are these, the Black Toe 1s. It's crazy to think we're now living in a sneaker time where a classic OG colorway of a Jordan 1 doesn't immediately sell out and doesn't go on to command crazy resale. I definitely thought these were going to be a little bit more popular than they have been, but they are nonetheless out there and available for pretty cheap money. The quality isn't, I would say, as good as it is on the Atmosphere Grays, but it's still nice enough. You can see I've chucked the sail laces in there, which depending on your preferences could be a hit or a miss. But the Black Toe colorway just can't miss really. In fact, I think the black toe would be my second favorite Jordan 1 high colorway after the UNC. Same sort of squishy insole as is on the Atmosphere Gray, making these comfortable off the rip. Maybe even want to go a half size down. I found low OG ones to fit a little bit big. But yeah, awesome to be back in a time where you can pick up an OG colorway of a Jordan 1 for retail or just around there anyway. I wanted to give a special mention to a Nike SB Dunk Low collab that has kind of fallen off a lot of people's radar given how spoiled we've been with Nike SB collabs this year, and that is these, the Fly Streetwear Nike SB Dunk Lows. Colorway on these is so clean. Different materials between the different types of leather, the really nice soft tumble on the toe, and the really nice hairy suede, as well as the green suede, make for just a really nice looking and nice feeling shoe in hand. It's also important to remember that this shoe comes with some pretty intricate storytelling. These are on the market for a little bit over retail, but I'm sure if you were patient enough, you could find a pair out there on the used market for a little bit over retail. Given how much hype is out there around SBs like the Jaritos or the Born and Raised or the Yutos, I feel like these have been relegated to the outskirts of the sneaker periphery. Underrated SB, Fly Streetwears. I feel like the Jordan 1 Low Elephants are pretty underrated as well. These are going for hardly anything. In fact, this is another Jordan 1 Low that you can pick up around retail or just under. These kind of bricked alongside the high tops. In fact, the high top elephants have gone on to sit on sale, but I actually think the elephant print works well on the low. And these are such a good alternative if you are even halfway into the Nike SB Dunk Low Supreme collabs with the elephant prints. Those are some of my favorite SB Dunk Lows, and I'll never really be able to justify the resale prices on them because they're so incredibly exorbitant. And so these are a very fitting and apt substitute. Quality's good, comfort's good, availability is good. These, my friends, are underrated. Last up, I've got to give a special mention to the Asics Gel Light 3 Marvel and X-Men collab with Kith. I think this whole collaboration is probably one of the best collabs of the entire year. Blind box, you buy the shoe, you don't know what you're gonna get. The addition of the trading cards, the storytelling, the packaging, the whole collectability of the whole thing is just on a completely different level to any other sneaker collab we've seen so far this year. And the cool thing about this collab is, unlike other super hyped up collabs, you can actually find these for very cheap money. Pairs that have been unboxed already and had the mystery taken out of them are selling for just a little bit over the retail price. Quality of the materials is really good, and the color blocking is awesome, particularly as they reference the different Marvel characters. This particular pair is the Wolverine colorway, and I think these slap hard. And so although there is a lot of hype around these, I feel like because the price is low, it kind of negates that, making these, in my opinion, a bit of an underrated shoe. And there we have it. Those are some of the most underrated pickups from 2023 so far from yours truly. Feel free to let me know if you guys have picked up some pretty underrated pairs yourselves in the comments. And let me know if you guys want to see some sneakers that I think are a little bit overrated from this year. Thanks as always for taking the time to watch. Really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.